Hello, it's Mr. Egg on Walking Street. Today's the 14th of July 2022 and the bars have been closed yesterday and today because of a holy Buddhist holiday. So I thought this was a good idea to get back to our roots, and so many people say to me, Phil, we love the videos that you do, we love the live streams, but what we really like is when you're just walking around and just talking about the old days and some of the experiences and telling a few stories and giving us information about the city that we love, especially my manor here on Walking Street. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to walk around Walking Street, tell you a few things that are going on, and hopefully impart some information with you. Now, the first thing to say is that Walking Street, the reconstruction or the beautification or gentrification or whatever you want to call it, Walking Street, is going very well. Right now we're just at the place where Soy Diamond joins Walking Street, so that's the soy where we're on, and we're going to be checking out Soy Diamond in a short while. But if the cameraman, my lovely balloon chaser, can see right down the bottom here, the repaving and the refurbishment of Walking Street has not only got to here, but it's got a long lot further as well. A few things to tell you about the refurbishment. First of all, and again, I must say this in my sleep, and I say it 20 times a day, I am not a civil engineer, so I don't know the intricacies of what's actually going on underneath our feet. But all I can say is that there isn't any concrete between the cobbles, but there is a lot of sand, and they're deliberately putting sand down, layers of sand, maybe 1 or 2 layers every couple of weeks, just to compact it down. Somebody mentioned on their stream, and I'll tell you who it was my friend Nick Dean over at NDTVI. If you haven't joined that, then make sure you watch Nick. He was talking about the drainage on Walking Street, and that actually came from a comment that I told him when he was in Le Pub. And if you can remember, previously on Walking Street there was a pavement here, and you can see right here where the pavement used to be, sidewalk if you're from America, by the way. And what the engineers have done is they've made it a completely flat surface all the way, so there are no more sidewalks or pavements. But one of the things that they did have was drainage holes. Now again, in my non-civil engineering way, I've had a talk to a few of my friends who are a little bit more up on this particular subject, and what they've said is that there should be natural drainage going down into through the cobbles, through the sand. And I have to say, it's certainly passed that engineering test, because the last couple of days, especially on Tuesday, we're talking on Thursday now, but on Tuesday night, very, very wet storm that seemed to go on for hours and hours, and there was no serious flooding here on Walking Street. Right, let's move on. So, as you can see, the paving has been done all the way to here. Notable bars to talk to you about. The Cannabis Bar, which along with me for several months was the only bar that was open on Walking Street, that is open again. That is on the seaside over here. There aren't any new go-go bars that have opened up to here. What is open is Fahrenheit and Skyfall. Those are the 2 big bars up to here. But let's just take a move, and my cameraman Balloon Chaser will come with me. Iron Club and is still closed, and so is Airport, and as you can see, for rent signs here. Now let's just put to bed the issue that you hear a million times as well about, oh, everywhere on this side's getting demolished. That's not true. It has been said before that the issue on this side, there is a little bit of an issue of land encroachment into the sea. I have seen a list of certain bars and buildings that need to be partially demolished, and I say, choose my words very carefully, partial demolition, not the whole building, just a bit that's a little bit too far out. Most of those buildings, I have to say, were Thai restaurants. There was one very famous disco in there and another go-go bar as well. But other than that, it was mainly Thai-run bars that had gone out into the sea. But the biggest issue is the sewerage. Pattaya City Hall very, very keen to make sure that the sea, which is just beyond these buildings here, is as clean as possible, and so they have put measures in place to make sure that any kind of sewage drainage happens into sluice tanks or septic tanks and not into the ocean. Let's have a walk down here and see what's happening. Ah, there you go. Don't forget, just to remind you, there is no vehicular traffic here when Walking Street is open from 7 p.m. So it's closed off at 7 and there are no vehicles. So all the vehicles that you see, you might say, well, it doesn't look very good to me. It is actually quite impressive, Walking Street, when you actually get here. 7 o'clock, 7:30. It really is nice, and the one level does really, really work well. Just walking away, sensations. This has been completely refurbished by Martin, the owner, and what was next door was a little go-go bar. That has been changed and it is now going to be a coffee shop. It's not open yet, so I'm assuming that it's waiting for some kind of licensing issue or whatever. And oh, there's some ladies going in there now. So that coffee shop will be open soon, and it's the same management as is with the Sensations A Go-Go. I have to say, if you've never been to Sensations, great lineup and just a really, really well-run bar. I have to say, Martin is the owner there, really knows what he's doing. Glass House has been open for quite some time, and Todd has told me that things are going really, really well. Interestingly, just pointing around here, I'm sorry, my cameraman is getting a bit dizzy, but the 7-Eleven again, always a weather vane really on how well anywhere's doing. If the 7-Elevens are closed, it's usually pretty bad news, because think of all the data that those organisations have. They know exactly by the hour, also almost by the minute, what kind of sales are doing, what footfall there is in certain areas. They have so much data and they close, but it's good to see that that is open again. So the 7-Eleven there is open 24 hours again. Let's just move up and see to where the refurbishment has got to. Now it's kind of in two stages. What they do first of all is they demolish the pavement and flatten it out using sand, and then they start putting the cobbles down. Now it might well be because today is a Buddhist holiday that there isn't any workers here. I can see one or two, but there's not that many. So let's come and see how it's getting on now. And as you can see, I have mentioned earlier, the sand which is going down is basically there to try and help the drainage to compact the cobbles. According to my sources, maybe if you're somebody who deals with this sort of thing, maybe you can comment down below and tell me what's going on. I always like to hear your comments, by the way, on anything like that, because I haven't got a clue, to be honest. I just say what I hear in the bar, and sometimes people in bars tend to sort of go on a bit, you never know. So let's just walk up here, and as you can see, the paving has got right now way past Pin Up A Go-Go, and we're getting nearly towards the old Marina Go-Go here. You can see here that the cobbles have been laid down on top of the sand, and the pavements have gone. So the levelling up process, if you like, has gone right down, almost beyond the famous Walking Street tree, the tree that you always see in old videos and old photos of Pattaya. It's got to there. This Janat Club here is a very, very big, high budget Indian nightclub for Indian orientated customers. I have to say, if nothing else, come down here and take a look at the exterior, because when it's open, you can't quite see, but you look at this yellow kind of dressing there. Just to the right of that, it looks like this black wall. It's not. It's a massive LED screen. And when it's actually on, the video and the effect that it makes is quite stunning. I've got to say, I always say, been in this business for 40 years. I've never seen anything quite as stunning as the entrance to this club. And they've obviously spent a lot of money, and somebody who knows what they're doing has designed it. I've not been inside, but it's certainly very impressive. It gives a kind of a waterfall, like a cooling effect, which is a great idea in a hot country like Thailand. So, if we can gingerly, let's go back to Soy Diamond, because that is my cultural home. If David Attenborough were around, he would say that, yeah, this is the place where you can find this species, misteregg, always on Soy Diamond. And a few people have been asking me, well, what's going on at Soy Diamond? Which bars are open, which bars are closed? Traditionally, if you look at a few old videos of Soy Diamond, back in the 1980s and early 90s, there was a lot of go-go bars there. It was actually somewhere where you could park your car. You could go and you could park your car there, or your motorbike, and there were a lot of go-go's that were owned and had a big German clientele, Swiss, French. But things have changed. Obviously, the pandemic has been a real problem and issue. And the makeup of the bar has somewhat changed. And I think, if I was being totally honest with myself, I think the Soy is still kind of looking for an identity. It has quite a few bars that are still not rented out and are free. But I'm not sure about the rentals. Certainly by me, the rentals are reasonably cheap. And it is still a walkway. So there are people that come from the second road and they can make it onto Walking Street. Also, for the last 3 or 4 months now, Walking Street has been pedestrianised again, which means that you don't have people parking their bikes on Walking Street. So people are actually being dropped up at the top by my bar and then walking down, which means that you've got quite a bit of foot traffic. 2 bars that aren't open today because it's a Holy Buddha Day that have been here forever. This is BJ Bar on the left there and Lucky Star Bar on the right. Both kind of real, they've been here for generations, almost 20, 30 years, both of those bars. Just walking over here, this is a Diamond Sports Bar. Previously, that was the C A Go-Go, for those people that remember. It was Diamond Sports Bar for about a year, 18 months. Didn't really work out, and before the pandemic, it closed, and it hasn't reopened yet. I actually looked at the C A Go-Go to maybe have that as a bar for myself, but there was a problem with the rent. I wasn't quite happy with what was going on there, so I decided not to take it and took the bar where I am at the moment, further up towards Second Road. Most people that remember these 2 bars, I can't remember the name of it was Naughty Girls A Go-Go there, and I think this was either Super Baby or Super Girl. They've now been combined into one go-go bar, which is Coco A Go-Go. It has both Chinese and East European ownership, and it has a mixture of those 2 girls as well. And I haven't been inside, but for all accounts it seems quite busy, and they've got quite a good lineup. Here's a bar that so many people tell me about. How many people tell me what's happening with the Carousel? When I came to Thailand in the 1980s or whatever, this was the first bar that I ever sat in and had a drink in. Countless people have told me that. Well, the good news is it's been refurbished, and I have to say they have done a really, really good job. It's bright, it's clean. They've got new TVs in here, they've got new fridges, and I think one of the carousels opens. Now, for those people who have never been to Thailand or Walking Street, what happens is, if you just look at the bottom here, you can see that the whole of the circular bar and the seating is on a platform, and the platform moves around, which is why they call it the carousel. Like a carousel moves. Meh, wadikap, wadikap. And that was kind of the ultimate selling point, or unique selling point of the bar, was that the fact that it moved around. And there were 2 of them, and I think it's rather like, you can get websites that talk about the way that luggage carousels go, whether they go clockwise or anti-clockwise. I kid you not, look them up. I think they both went the same way, or maybe one went clockwise and one went anti-clockwise, but it doesn't matter. But the idea was that there was a few girls outside Naughty Girls and Super Baby. There was a few girls outside this go-go bar, which ironically was also called Carousel. A few girls outside there, and used to sit there and just enjoy, seeing a different wadikap. That's the guy, the Chang beer guy. Got an interesting story on him, I'll tell you one day. And that was the idea. Now, one of these is now working. As you can probably understand, it's quite expensive to run the motor, the electric motor that turns these. And it also might be that there is some kind of maintenance issue with them, why only one of them works. But anyway, one of them works. And if you actually ask them, they don't run it all the time, but if you ask them, they do go around. I have to say, it looks really nice. They haven't quite got a premium lineup of girls. I'm trying to be nice to them, but they've got girls here. They've got a pool table, and if you look, a real rarity, just over there with the yellow background, they've got a dartboard. The only problem is, as you can see to the right of the dartboard, I don't think the Thais quite get positioning of dartboards, is not their speciality. There's a fan there, so you never know. Thai girl had a few tequilas with the old sharp object, hits the fan, maybe ricochets off the fan, goes into the soil and then kills somebody. I'm not suggesting that might happen, but it would be in the back of my mind. It's difficult to place a dartboard, put it like that, but at least they're having a go, and I've got to commend them for that. And I've got to say, this is bright, airy, clean, and I think it's got real potential here. So the good news is that Carousel Bar is operating again. This used to be Carousel A Go-Go. This is still closed, but as you can see, they're making a little bit of money because they're parking bikes in front of it. There is a bar just down here called Rocket A Go-Go. It is very much aimed at tourists, and if you get accosted by somebody on Walking Street who wants to show you ping pong show, frog show, another show beginning with the letter P, right, it all happens in the Moon A Go-Go, which is just at the top of this A Go-Go right down the bottom. Next door to that is a place that used to be Paris A Go-Go. That has been closed for a while. I think it was called, I can't remember, Jack's Bar. It was a beer bar. That is a great location for a bar, by the way, just off Walking Street. But the problem is, if you can just see, I don't know if your cameraman can pick up, the yellow building that just blocks the walkway. That is a change booth. And it's just halved the walkway to 50% of what it was. It's such a shame because it just cuts your possible foot flow so much. This bar next door, Su Casa, is open. I have seen it open, but I've seen it closed as well, so I'm not sure whether that's open permanently. One place that I have seen open and closed again is the new Heaven Club on the site of the old Heavens Above, owned now by a different group of people that own Heaven Above. As you know, the original Heaven Above closed here and has now moved to Soy Boomerang, which is just off Soy Buakau, and it is a kind of a merger of a go-go and a kind of, I'd call it a go-go lounge if there is such a thing. Very, very comfortable seating, not loud music, and a kind of a gentleman's club feel for a few hours, and then the go-go girls come in, but it's not like a raving mad sort of a madhouse. It's a very relaxed, I'd call it a go-go lounge. Maybe that's a term that will take off. Getting back to this site now, it's now called Heaven Club. It has been open for a while, but I've also seen it close, so it's periodically opening and closing. And I have heard from the grapevine, and again, this is unconfirmed, and if the owners of Heaven would like to comment down below, I'll be quite happy for them to do that, but I have heard that it is possibly for sale. So if you're looking for somewhere, this is a brand new refurbished, and it's also got a hotel on there as well, so it's good. So this here used to be called Gentleman's Club. Before that, it was called Party Girls A Go-Go. It has been bought by the Windmill Group, and they are looking at possibly turning this into a small go-go bar. If you look, I'm sorry to our cameraman, I keep on moving him around. He's got more exercise today than he's had in years. There is signage here. One of the reasons they bought it actually is just so it's a really, really good place to have signage. So the signage just here above the Chinese temple, and there is signage directing customers, and here, as you can see, the signage is in Thai, and it is for recruiting girls to join the Windmill Group. So that is a little bit of news. That will be developed into a small go-go bar, and there are plans by David, the owner, and other people to develop this. Let's move on. Carousel Bar, a famous go-go bar. I think it's a great name. Ladyboy Bar. It's been completely redeveloped, and there's a possibility that we might be able to look inside that at some point. I do know all the owners, and apparently things going very well for them there. They opened about a month ago, and people like to go there and just watch the shows, and it's a lot of fun. So Carousel Bar is open. Annabelle's moving on. For those people that don't know, has been purchased. This used to be the old Diamond A Go-Go. It's been purchased by the Windmill Group. It was open for a while, but at the moment they're redeveloping inside, and so it is closed, but it will be open again at some point. And of course, here it is, the Mecca, the spiritual home of many, many people in Pattaya, and I've been the manager here several times. It's the Windmill Club, and the great news is that it's open and doing fantastic on both floors. If you saw me saying hello a little while ago, sorry, someone trying to call me. If you saw me saying hello to a lady a little while ago, it's the lady that actually owns the land here, and she's just behind there. Lovely lady. And as I say, the Windmill just goes from strength to strength to strength. It's looking bigger and better than it has for a long time, and open on both floors. People that remember the old Swiss food restaurant here, great buffet and great food, has a Swiss German owner. That has been closed for some time now. It does still have an owner who is one of the owners of the Lucifer 808 group. I know that there's a lot of owners there, and there's a lot of owners, there's different ownerships here, but I have seen a little bit of movement here, but nobody has took it over yet. And I think this is a great little location. The rooms, if they're the same, if you look on TripAdvisor or Airbnb or whatever, the rooms get really, really good reviews here. They've got jacuzzis in and everything, so it might be a good little business for somebody. And obviously, being right by the Mecca, you never know, it could do really, really well. Black Horse, for those people that remember, it used to be a single bar here. It's now a double bar. It is mainly for Finnish customers, although everybody is welcome, and it's open quite late. And the great thing about this, and I love seeing this, it's like going back in time 30 years. They do a bit of ballroom dancing inside there every now and then to the old Finnish songs. And you see the couples sweeping the light fantastic. And also, they have karaoke here as well, but again, it's mainly Finnish songs, and it's for a Finnish clientele, because if you look opposite, there is the world famous Lassie Bar. Lassie has been here for, I think, about 120 years. I jest, of course. For those Finnish people that watch the channel, I know there is a lot. No, Lassie is closed today, but he is open. He usually goes home to Finland in the summertime here in Pattaya, which corresponds to summer, obviously, in Finland, which is apparently quite nice. And he enjoys the winter months here, and he opens his business. But he's open as normal, and he still has a healthy clientele. The commonly known as the French bar is right here, La Trio. And, you know, it goes from strength to strength. It's open very late, and he's very, very popular, and a really nice French owner there, so pop in. This here used to be the old Johnny's bar. It had a Swiss name, begins with a G, and I have no idea. Don't ask me how to say, because it's something like Glockenspiel, but it wasn't. Anyway, that's what this was. It was a music venue for a while, which didn't quite work out, and now it's actually owned by the Windmill Group again, and they're looking at redeveloping this building here. So maybe you'll see either a go-go bar or a beer bar or a coffee shop here at some point. But it was going to be a hairdresser's as well, but it didn't quite work out, and certainly they wouldn't have really got a customer from me. This bar here, it always has a lot of interest. There's people going in and out and cleaning it and all sorts every day, but I never see anybody actually opening it up. It's called Nice A Go-Go, and it is very nice inside. A little bit compact and bijou. For those people that remember, it used to be called Electric Blue. It was owned by Andy from Electric Blue for a while. Before that, I think it was a massage shop, if I remember correctly. This is the bar next door to the pub. For a while it was called, I don't know if you can see, Night Train, owned by the same people that own Diamond A Go-Go. And the good news is that I've got to clear my electric bike out of the way, because apparently they were going to open yesterday. They haven't quite opened yet, but definitely by the end of the month this place will be open. I'm not sure what they're doing. It's a Thai Asian ownership. I've no idea. I haven't really spoken to them yet, but maybe I will do. But we wish them the best of luck. It here is Hops Bar, which for those people that might remember used to be called Sexy Hippo. It was then bought by the Wicked Group, and it was called Wicked Hippo. Closed for a while. I tried to kind of run it like a Soy 6 bar, but it didn't quite work out. The character of certainly this part of Soy Diamond is a little bit more laid back. There's a lot of German, French, Swiss customers. It didn't quite work out for them. Now it's called Hops, not to be confused with the Hops Bar, of course, on Beach Road, which is a big food and drink venue. And there's 2 or 3 girls here. It's open late. It's very, very friendly. The staff are very friendly with my staff, and it's nice, and it's a nice little bar, but still needs to recruit more staff really to get going. And finally, on Soy Diamond, we have the world famous casino. Again, it's gone through a bit of a transformation. T, who is the main owner of casino, has put these windows in at the front. They always had a bit of a late crowd, but it's always been an in crowd and a great place to go. And can I just say, it's not a casino for those people who think, oh, casinos, we said they were coming to Pattaya and they're here. No. Those people that know, of course, casino used to be in this building here, but it got closed down and it's now moved over the road. So we finally end up at the pub. We were the only bar on Walking Street. I will go to my grave telling people that I was the only bar for months and months on Walking Street that was open. And okay, we were serving soft drinks and chips, but we were still open, and I'm very, very proud of that. We just kept going, we kept the staff together. And anyway, that's all in the past. We look forward to the future. We have refurbished a lot. We're looking at getting some new TVs for the World Cup, which is in November. Changing the lighting around a bit. We've got new seating in there. Obviously, we sell Guinness. We are the only bar in the whole of Walking Street that sells draft Guinness. So I'm very proud of what we've achieved here, and long may it continue. I hope you've enjoyed our little walk. I have talked and talked and talked for the last 20 minutes. I hope you enjoy this sort of video. If you do, leave a comment down below and we'll try and do more of them. Please come here to Pattaya. At the moment, Walking Street's going to look great when it's finished, and it's not far away. Thanks for watching. Stick around. My name is Mr. Egg. You can find me right here at the pub 7 days a week from about 2 p.m. here in the afternoons, most afternoons. But for me now, stick around for more videos. If you do like it, don't forget, subscribe and turn on the notifications for more videos and live streams from me and the girls here at the pub. But for now, Mr. Egg, bye-bye.